All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to go into today, some reading I was doing, in the Living Bible, paraphrase, as a gift, given to me by the beloved Elder Brother Kazak. And what I want to go into is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, and verse 1. And it said, wine gives false courage, hard liquor leads to brawls. Okay? And I couldn't help but think of how the scriptures say Esau, all right, that he's giving over to wine. Because we have to understand, this wine that we're speaking of is a doctrine. And see, Esau's doctrine, where he pushes Edomite superiority, all right? He pushes pride, he pushes himself, okay, to be a god, okay? He pushes himself, to be unstoppable, that he can never be taken down, and that's the wine that he's drunk off of. So Esau is drunk off his own wine, you know? So this man is taken by his own wine that he pushes throughout the earth. He has the earth, a lot of people drunken off their wine, enchanted, but there's no one that's more enchanted than him. There's no one that thinks of him to be a god more than him. Okay? To think that he's unstoppable more than him. And he's drunk off these things. The wine of pride, etc., and all the above. Well, this devil, he's taken by that. Okay, he's extremely intoxicated by that. And we know this is going to lead to his fall. He's staggering to a fall, because he's taken by the wine. So when you read Proverbs 20 and 1, it says wine gives false courage. Okay, and off this wine, this man is trying to replace the Most High with technology, this new world order. He has gotten this false courage as if he can pull this off, man. Because he done hyped himself up so much, man. He believed his own hype. Okay, he drunk off his own supply. You see? And it said wine gives false courage. Hard liquor leads to brawls. Okay, and what's the brawl that he's being led to, man? The brawl with Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, which is going to be a one-way fight. Okay? It's going to be a one-way fight, man, where Yahweh Shah is going to be on the offense, man. All right? Embarrassing Esau. Because that's the thing, too, when you're drunken, that's when, you have your most embarrassing moments, when you're just out your mind drunk. You have very embarrassing moments. And this is the predicament that Edom is in, okay, to where he's finna have, all right, an embarrassing moment, okay, as he tries to establish his new world order. Well, guess what? He's leading himself to a brawl because he's offended so much. That's another thing. When you're drunk, you're very offensive and you're not aware of your offenses. You're not aware that you're pissing people off around you. You just drunk out your mind. And this Esau, he drunk out his mind trying to establish his new world order. And we're seeing this man stagger all over the place to try to do it. Okay? So this man is completely drunken off his own wine, and he's staggering into a brawl with the Most High. That's going to end his ass, man. It's going to end in major embarrassment, man. Okay? And it says, wine gives false courage. Hard liquor leads to brawls. What fools men are to let it master them. So this wine has mastered the devil. He believes the hype so much, that he wants to put it into play. You see, he believed the hype so much here, he wanted to put it in action in the world and try to be the Most High, try to replace the Most High. Okay? So this wine has mastered him. He's being led by his wine. And it says, making them real drunkenly down the street, real drunkenly, go to and fro. You see, and you see the devil going to and fro trying to set this thing up. He's over here, Greenland, Venezuela. Then he's over here, Iran. Then he's over here, ICE. Then he's over here, the crypto, the data center. They're trying to, get the data centers in the power. They want to put data centers in the space, data centers on the water. Okay, this bill, this law, this, that, the Epstein files, and this and that. He's trying to get distraction. He's trying to, then the Grammys, and then this is like, damn. So he's like a drunk man that's just going to and fro, back and forth, all over the place, man. So it's like, damn, what is this man on? Okay, so going back, and it says, I'm gonna read the whole thing again. I'm gonna get some more precepts. So in Proverbs 20:1 in the Living Bible paraphrase, it says, wine gives false courage, hard liquor leads to brawls. What fools men are to let it master them, making them real drunkenly down the street, man. So we're watching this man, go drunkenly down the street to try to establish this new world order when he's gonna lose. Okay? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 13. It says, the wise men from Zoan are also fools, and Zoan represented, this place of counsel, for the nobles of Egypt. Okay? So today we know America is what spiritually Egypt. You see? And their wise men of counsel, they're drunken, okay, with their own wine. They're coming to counsel drunk, giving horrible advice. Imagine, okay, you go to work and, you're amongst the leadership, the manager and supervisor, and all these niggas come in sloppy drunk, trying to give instructions, okay, of what to do for the day. Okay, it's going to be terrible, man. It's going to be disastrous, man. Okay, and this is what we're seeing happening in the earth, man. These niggas are showing up to the council drunken off the wine of Babylon. Finished. Okay, it says the wise men from Zoan are also fools. Those from Memphis are utterly deluded. It says they are the best you can find, but they have ruined Egypt with their foolish counsel. The Lord has sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so that all their suggestions are wrong. They make Egypt stagger like a sick drunkard, man. Okay, so we're watching America, stagger back and forth like a sick drunkard, man. The council is terrible, man, because all these devils are drunk, man. They're elites, all right. They're puppets, these certain mascots, for these major tech companies. They're all drunken, man, and they're finna fall. The Lord got them set up for failure, man. This is going back to Psalms when it says the Lord has them set in slippery places, man. These devils are in slippery places, man. Okay? So go back to Isaiah. Now, Habakkuk. Let's fast forward to Habakkuk, the 4th chapter. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Yeah, Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Ain't no 4th chapter in Habakkuk. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. Okay? Let's start at verse 5. It said, what's more, these arrogant Chaldeans are betrayed by all their wine. Okay, and the Chaldeans represents, the elites, which this God complex comes from them. All these theologies of, the technology and trying to transcend, go beyond, the limits set by the Most High, transhumanism, all these different, philosophies, and, them tapping into immortality on the left-hand side and trying to upset the prophecies. Well, that starts with these Chaldeans, which are the elites, man, the top warlocks and witches of this system. Okay, the people we don't see. The Chaldeans are the ones that run the show that we don't see. That's not put in our face 24/7. Those are the Chaldeans. And it says, What's more, these arrogant Chaldeans are betrayed by all their wine, for it is treacherous. It is their greed. It says, in their greed they have collected many nations, but like death and hell, they are never satisfied. The time is coming when all the captives will taunt them, saying, "You robbers, at last justice has caught up with you. Now you will get your just desert." So these devils have been drunken off their wine and staggering through the earth, just offending everybody. Okay? And the nations are looking like, nigga, you know? And he just keep doing it. It's just like that drunk nigga just keep bumping into you hard as hell, at the bar. He done spilled your food on your lap, your wings in your lap, he done knocked your tequila out your hand. That nigga, and then he talking shit behind it. That's Esau in the world. Offensive as hell, man. Slapping your woman on the ass. You see, that's Esau. He's as offensive as you can be. And he's just stumbling through the earth, man. That's what he's doing when he's just taking resources, air striking, removing your leaders. You're like, God damn. But he's doing it because he drunk off that wine of who gonna stop me, who gonna check me. He's been puffing at these nations, nigga, do something. And now the spirit on the spirit of the Lord is on these nations to do something, man. Okay, that's why we see all this friction in the earth, man. They tired of that drunk ass nigga walking around being offensive and disrespectful, saying and doing any goddamn thing, man. Okay? And it says, reading on, it says, "You robbers, at last justice has caught up with you. Now you will get your just deserts for your oppression and extortion. Suddenly your debtors will rise up in anger and turn on you and take all you have. While you stand trembling and helpless, you have ruined many nations. Now they will ruin you. You murderers, you have filled the countryside with lawlessness and all the cities too." Okay, so these devil has spread this wine and influence everywhere, to where these governments are dealing with, people in their society where they want to be westernized. There is a population amongst all these heathen governments, that do want to be westernized. Okay, because of this devil's reach, because of through technology, man. He's able to spread that wine everywhere, man. Okay? So this man has spread, violence, okay, wickedness, whoredom, alphabet, rebellion. You see, he has put this everywhere, man. These nations like, man, we not trying to, we done, we through drinking. Like, we don't want no more shots. Okay? And this nigga steady walking around with the bottle. Okay? Constantly trying to, get the world drunk. Okay? But we to the point to now where his drunkenness should lead him into a brawl. Okay? He's one bump away. As we see all this tension with Iran and Russia and China, small hats. Well, he's just one bump away now. He one shoulder bump away from that brawl breaking out, man. Okay, which is gonna embarrass his ass, man. You see? And it says, reading on verse 9 says, "Woe to you for getting rich by evil means." All right? It's Esau. His wealth comes from pure wickedness, man. Great robbery, slaughter, deception. You see? It says attempting to live beyond the reach of danger. Like he's like the devil has been able to just do what he wants with impunity, man. With no, the devil has just been able to act with no consequence. That's what has emboldened him so much, because he's been able, because these nations fell back because they knew this nigga had the sword and he didn't care about using it. Okay, they know that this nigga just wild out. It was like a drunk nigga with the AR. Okay, so it was like, okay, let this nigga have it, man. You see, but now the spirit of, we gotta do something about this nigga, man. That's the spirit that's now. That's why I say, woe with your destruction. And it's the Lord setting this man up for judgment, setting this drunk ass up for judgment, man. And it said, woe to you. It says, woe to you for getting rich by evil means, attempting to live beyond the reach of danger. By the murders you commit, you have shamed your name and forfeited your lives. All right. So his wickedness, all his bloodshed, okay, has made him eligible to be judged. So reading on, and it says, read this again. It says, by the murders you commit, you have shamed your name and forfeited your lives. The very stones in the walls of your homes cry out against you, and the beams in the ceilings echo, all right, what they say, because this man has built an empire, infrastructure of wickedness, man. Okay, so this man's kingdom, the infrastructure, the wicked system he has in place, all right, the people, the way people are governed in this society is a witness against this devil. His rulership is a witness against itself. Look at the condition of the earth, the condition of people, all the wealth that this man has amassed to himself, and he's been able to, build, these lavish cities and these lavish personal homes for himself. Okay, there's islands we don't know about with these devils, man. But all this is a witness against this man, okay, in his wicked kingdom. You see? And the Lord's getting ready to judge this man. So that's the point, just wanted to tap into that. So Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edify, man. All right. Esau just staggering drunk, man, just staggering to his judgment, man. He's hype off his own wine. All right. And the Lord gonna sober that nigga up, all right, with judgment and captivity, man. So Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edify until next time I say shalom.